If I was a Nightwish fan before, what does that make me now? I feel like in this video in particular, I'm just really appreciating just the skill level. My God, these people are unbelievable. This is going to be a very exciting and very fun video because we're once again listening to Nightwish perform live. This comes from Buy Me a Coffee. So if you want your recommendations to get bumped up to the top of the list and make it to this main channel, Buy Me a Coffee is the place to go. So what is the song? It is Devil and the Deep Dark Ocean, live in Buenos Aires. Judging by the thumbnail and the first image here of the video, we've got a lot of Floor and we've got Marco, and we've probably got a lot of other things in between. So here we go.
Okay, so we'll give you this nice little piece. It's called Devil and the Deep Dark Ocean. A snowy owl above the haunted waters. Poet tell the ancient gods. Christ to tell the never-ending story. Prophecy of becoming floods.
The new life is the leading brightest light. So the incarnation before the creator of
This kingdom, falling on the marrow's will. Yes, I'm the liquid, giving power. The red item bomber.
the eternal grace of the black red water. The creator of infinite blue. Still to master this earth, carbon order.
Can I pause right there? Is that a good spot? Oh my God. Nightwish is surprising. Okay, I love reacting to Nightwish, but it's surprisingly difficult to react to because there's so much to think about. Like there's just so much to talk about and there's so much to hear that it's incredible. So we're going to keep going. I just wanted to throw my 2 cents in there before we move on. First of all, love the contrast in Marco's voice and Floor's voice. Unbelievable. I love how Thomas throws in these like twinkly sounds in there too. He's done that a few times in some of their other pieces where it's such a heavy texture and then it goes and gets really thin, and he does like a little glockenspiel sound on the keyboard. That's fantastic. What's number 3, and I've kind of glazed over this, I think, in previous Nightwish videos, the drums are insane. Who is the drummer? Kai. Kai is the drummer, and Kai is insanely talented, and sincerest apologies for not commenting on you in a previous video because it just jumped out at me today. It was so precise and so clean. This is a good one. So let's keep going, and then we'll go back because there's some lyrical things that we need to talk about, and there's a lot of stuff going on. So let's keep going.
I would die for the love of the murder. The seduction, beauty, and scorn. Welcome to the end of your life. Hail the ocean born.
Disgrace, despise, activity. Death was spoken by wedding price. All great new breed, the more to do for you are the created of the image of God.
Yeah, wow is right. She shouldn't be saying wow. We should be saying wow because that was insane. If I was a Nightwish fan before, what does that make me now? Like an ultimate fan? Like I feel like in this video in particular, I'm just really appreciating just the skill level. My God, these people are unbelievable. Unbelievable. I want to go back to the start and break this down because there's so much to talk about. This video could be 3 hours long. I won't make it 3 hours long, but there's so many elements. And I'm fortunate as a musician because even on a first listen, I can immediately appreciate it because I know how much skill these things take. And I was thinking as I was watching too, I was like, Nightwish really doesn't make it easy on themselves. They always do such complicated, complex musical things, but also the music and the lyrics themselves are always so deep and meaningful. And that's why they're one of the great bands in the world today, is because they have that kind of depth. I loved having Marco and Floor featured. Their voices go so well together. And in the beginning, one of my first comments when I paused earlier was, I love the contrast in their voices. But what was really cool as the song progressed, it seemed like Floor was taking on some of the qualities of Marco's voice. Like she was really doing some growls and there was some grit and some bite in that sound. But she also had the classic high, floaty, angel siren kind of sound. Really cool. Now, I need to go and look up the lyrics. We're going to go back. Let's break this down. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, I've gone back to the beginning and I'm just remembering from previous videos, Deep Dark Ocean. The ocean seems to be such an integral part of the imagery for Nightwish. A lot of their songs have to do with the ocean and nature, but specifically the ocean. Okay, so let's take a look at these lyrics because they're kind of crazy. A snowy owl above the haunted waters, poet of the fall blinded by the snow. Let's see what that means.
Devil and the deep dark ocean. A snowy owl above the haunted waters, poet of the ancient gods, Christ to tell the never-ending story, prophecy of becoming floods.
The new first love, emanating brightest light. The incarnation before the creator of
When I think of Floor Jansen, if I can picture her in my brain, it's this kind of image right here. Just like, whoosh, here I am. A snowy owl above the haunted waters, poet of ancient gods, cries to tell the never-ending story, prophecy of becoming floods. With these lyrics, I know on the first listen through, I'm going to get the interpretation wrong because what you've all instructed me on, if you're a Nightwish fan, maybe you're completely new, this is your first time watching Nightwish, but in previous videos, when we've talked about the lyrics and we've interpreted them, one thing that I kind of missed the mark on was the history of Nightwish with Tarja and some of the other members and some drama that went on and just, their lives of being mega famous and being, these unbelievable musicians. There's a lot of history there too. So that's one thing that I'm thankful for that you've sort of instructed me on. So I'm going to kind of go at the lyrics from what I see written down and what I see in the music or what I hear in the music and the expression and everything. So I apologize if I missed the mark on any backstory that I may have missed. If that's the case, you know where to put the comments down in the comment section. Listen to how intense Marco's voice is right off the bat and how much bite and how much grit he has. And then hear Floor's contrast to that, but then she gets into that grit. Let's hear that.
A snowy owl above the haunted waters, poet of the ancient gods, story. Prophecy of becoming floods.
Okay, just want to pause just before Marco comes back in. Okay, you have to let me know if you're if you've ever done this like crazy headbanging before. How do you not get injured? Like, do you have to really like? I can imagine Floor would really have to warm up her body to be able to do that. Because if I think of doing that, I feel like I would pull a muscle for sure. Anyway, she seems to represent a character that's a little bit more mysterious. Like I can't quite figure out what she is yet because she's got this sweet sound that she can do, but then also there's something in there. So if I think of the ocean, for example, you know, the ocean is really kind of up and down. I don't know if she represents that or if Thomas has another idea in mind for what the ocean is. I don't know. It always leaves me scratching my head. I like it. And the title is called Devil and the Deep Dark Ocean. So is Marco the devil and then Floor is the deep dark ocean, or is the devil the deep dark ocean? Don't quite know yet. Let's keep going.
Deep dark is the justice kingdom, falling on the morrow's world. Yes, I'm the liquid, giving power. The red iron bone.
Her breath control to be able to hold that for so long and then do that big slide down. How emotional is that? If you're really trying to emphasize the emotion, you do this kind of cry and then you just sort of slide away. Now, looking at the lyrics for this big slide, she says, "The spell to master this earth, carven on an infant's tomb." So when I think of a tomb, what do I think of? Something dark, something empty, something maybe that goes really long or it's really deep into the earth and probably really echoey. So what does she do on the word tomb? Let's listen. And the music even thins out a little bit. We just get. So I'm feeling empty, it's like a tomb, right? That's word painting right there. The music reflects the lyrics because the lyricist is also the songwriter. Simple as that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems to me that Marco is the devil and Floor is an ocean, representing the ocean, or she's like an ocean creature. And I did say siren earlier. That's totally by mistake, but maybe she's playing a siren of some kind or some sort of sea character. I'm not sure. We'll figure it out.
I would die for the love of a murder. A seduction, beauty, and scorn. Welcome to the end of your life. Hail the ocean born.
Disgrace the spot for Jimmy. Death was spoken by wedding price. All great new breed, the more to do for you. The queen of the image of God.
The breath control on that note in particular, that's what I noticed on the first listen through. Yeah, I thought she was going to be at the end and then she went up a little bit higher. Of course, talking quickly technically about her, really opens the mouth. Even on the word tomb, right? She said tomb, which we would say like ooh. She went tom to really get the space because she wants that great sound. Incredible. So there's a lot of things going on. I will die for the love of the mermaid. Her seduction, beauty and scorn. Welcome to the end of your life. Hail the ocean born. So it's like the devil worshiping this ocean siren. So maybe she is a mermaid because it does say mermaid in the lyrics. So that could be it. I'm looking down at the lyrics, by the way. Disgrace is my virginity. Death has woven my wedding dress. O great blue breath. Sorry. O great blue, breathe the morning dew, for you are the cradle of the image of God. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Right now, rest is sweet. Let me hear in the day.
I pray for pleasure, wish for love, pray for love. Who the hell are you for me? An immortal dream to see. Leave me be, leave me be, leave me, leave me.
All right, pausing right there. Do you feel a musical shift there? Because I feel like something's different now. She was going back and forth with the devil or whatever Marco is. And it seems like she said, leave me. And then she sang this really high note, and that seems to have sent him off or something. And then the music shifts. I love what he's doing here. The playing of the same, like the notes. It's like the same note, but he's having to hit it with just so it's so fast. It's incredible. And again, see if I can find a screenshot of him somewhere. Kai is absolutely shredding on the drums. That's actually making a really big difference for me. I feel like because the drums are so precise and so clean that I'm just getting I don't know, my heart's racing from it. Drummers are so important. I mean, not only do they keep us in time, but they really set the mood in such a special way. I want to hear that again. Do you hear that snarl? And she like brings the tongue forward and gets kind of that snarl in there too. I'm really excited about this. I don't know if you can tell, but things are, for my ears, things are going really well. She did this thing earlier on where she's like, she's singing like really quick notes. I can't tell you how difficult that is to do, to be able to sing in the middle of the pitch on we'll call it a staccato note, which means like really sort of pointy or quick. To be able to sing in the middle of the pitch is really hard. See if I can find her doing that. Okay, so I needed a second time through to really hear and feel and understand some of the things that were going on. Wasn't it interesting on that final stanza where she says, so Marco comes in and he's like, rah, and that's kind of scary. But then we shall come to set the dolphins free. We shall wash the darkened blood red sea. Our songs will echo over the mountains and seas. The eternity will begin once again in peace. So the music totally shifts in that moment. And actually, the screen behind them gets a little less flamey. So it gets a little bit more blue and whiter in the background. So there's less flame and devil. So that's why I think she's pushed him away or defeated him in some way. And knowing Nightwish, it probably goes a little deeper than that. And again, maybe you can fill me in on that. But I love just how everybody's demeanor changed too. That's what I noticed on the second run through. Like Flora's body language changed. She got a little bit more relaxed. The voice became even more soothing and a bit cleaner. There were no harsh vocals in there or anything like that. And even the music sort of was a bit more gentle, and the body language, everybody playing guitar and bass. They took the spotlight off Marco because he was no longer in the picture, no longer having to sing. That was cool. Yeah. So there's a lot of things that I think when it comes to Nightwish, you can't possibly get on the first run through. Like you can sort of react and it's just there's a lot going on. But the second time, maybe you get to understand a little bit more. And maybe that's why you watched it and listened to this performance 500 times. And each time there's something a little bit different that you notice. But I think their talent was really on display right now. And you know how I feel about talent. Like I don't like to harp on it too much, but their abilities, whether they're somewhat natural or they've been drilled over and over and over again, they were on full display today. And that's what's really impressive to me. And what I plan on doing with these Nightwish performances, because I get thousands of comments on these videos of people just sharing their opinions or their interpretation of these works. And some of it is completely like their personal opinion of how it makes them feel. Some of it is factual because it's based in their lives or things that went on. Like I'm thinking some of the drama with Daria leaving and that kind of thing. So what I'm going to do eventually, so stay tuned for this, is I'm going to go back and look at some of these videos. So I'm thinking something like Ghost Love Score, which I did a first time reaction. I'm going to go through them again and I'm going to make a longer video. And they won't necessarily be reactions, but they'll be more of an in-depth breakdown. And what I'll do is I'll highlight some of the top comments on my previous video and just talk about them and maybe do a little bit more research on my own so I can share what I've learned. Because the thing, I think if I could summarize my whole journey with Nightwish so far, is that there's so much more to it than just high notes and smoke and really intense music. There's so much more to that. There's this beautiful lyrics and there's passionate artists and poetry. Really, there's no other way to describe what these lyrics are. They're really in-depth poems that can be interpreted so many different ways. And it's so exciting and so much fun to dive in on those. So if you think that's something that would be kind of cool for me to do, go back, have a second listen, really dissect, make some longer videos and break this down. Let me know in the comments because I'd love to hear from you. And as always, if you have more recommendations for me of Nightwish, I always love their live performances. And I'm happy to go back and look at another video of a different performance of the same song because they're always so different. And I know Tarja sung this piece years ago when she was in the group. So if you want me to go and look at her version, and I'm not going to compare the two voices because we don't need to do that, but just compare the performances and see what are some of the differences and some of the similarities. So stay tuned for that if you want that. And with that, we're going to bring this video to a close. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. Check out Buy Me a Coffee and Patreon. If you did enjoy it, you'll probably enjoy some of the videos that are going to pop up on your screen in just a moment. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.